see, got that mic up right. All right. So basically, man, I'm at work. Got here a little late. It's raining hard. Coming down hard. Taking my time. And little birds getting it. All right. So let's spit this gum out. When it come down to it, man, it's crazy. For the simple fact is, I put at Shay Love. Shay was talking about being humble. You know, there's a lot of people who don't have a lot, and they do well with what they got. But then you got a lot of people that really don't even, you know, that technically have a lot and they steady want more. Vice versa, same. But when it comes down to it, man, it's like what she was talking about this morning about being humble. You know, even though you got a car, there's a person that got no car and they still out here moving around. They still. I remember when I was young, I actually didn't want a car for the simple fact because, I did a lot of work out of town. I made good money, but I was always out of town. And every time I got me a car or something like that, I always got an old school, because young, all the old people in my family had old schools. And then a lot of dudes. So, I was driven to, a lot of old school cars and stuff. And the crazy part was, they always had issues with them. And it was funny, like the last old school I got, I was with my wife. I had a Ford Cutlass, and that was one of my, believe it or not, people be laughing when I tell them, but that was one of my dream cars that I wanted. Ford Cutlass, because I was, I had my little design. I actually, I draw, so I tricked out everything I wanted on the car. I started buying materials. Like, I literally bought, like, back in the day, that's when beat was, big and booming. I bought my little equalizer, bought my little amps, bought my TVs, bought my radio, all that stuff for my car. Was next getting my speaker box, and had that beast in the trunk. And I was gonna do all that stuff, and then had a little issue with the car. And instead of me go ahead and just fixing it, I was like, man, I don't even want this car no more. And my wife hit me up. She was like, just stop doing the old school cars. Get something that's reliable, a little more new. And I was telling her, I said, with the old schools, I can fix it. I got somebody that can fix it. These new cars, a lot of, working stuff need to be done to it. So, I was like, I just need a car just in general. So I went on ahead, got me a car. Well, no, because that was her car we got. Got her a new car first. Because I was, like I said, I was always out of town. Then my first real vehicle, let's see now. Okay. That was the Delta 88. That was the first one. The Delta 88, I got that. It was a newer model, like a 98 Delta 88. And no, my bad. It was an Oldsmobile 88. And that was one of my homeboys, his little brother car. That was his first car. His dad wrecked the car, so I ended up getting that. And I fixed the car, and like I said, I was humble, man. I had this wrecked car, driving this car, man. It was like gold to me. I went to work every day in the car, no problems. Fixed the car a little as I went. Once again, no problems. I was good, And when it moved on to me getting another vehicle, I ended up getting a van for business. But it was like a newer model van, then turned around and got me a pickup truck. And that's what I really wanted, was a pickup truck. So I got that pickup truck, and, like I said, humble beginnings. I started off with, it was like a 2000 pickup truck. Then I turned around and got a 98, which I still got today. Then I ended up getting me a 2010. I bought that truck, and that was nice, loaded and everything. But, I was humble, with what I had. I wasn't trying to get the biggest and better of everything. Like I said, I still got that 98 truck. Hell, I just drove that truck today to work. I had some little work I wanted to do after work, even though it's raining. The stuff I'm going to be doing is inside, but still, I always tell people about that 5 to 9. But at the same time, I was humble and, saying that, man, whatever I got, I'm just going to deal. like my wife, house. And I let her look at this video with this guy. Uh, he was making a comment about people having nice things. He's like, nice things cost money. He said, at the same time, if you have something old, just make it new. Basically like old school, the people just say, give it a facelift. You know what I'm saying? Tweak it, make it look better. So, like our house, it's not no old model house, but tend to be like with the brown cabinets. That's outdated to certain people. The cabinets ain't nothing wrong with them. I can put some knobs on there and make them look even more better because they don't have knobs. Just regular, just slide and pull from the side. But put knobs on them and upgrade them. Wipe them down, put knobs on them, or stain them a little bit, upgrade them. But like I told my wife, we gonna sit here and just put all new cabinets in because I got the hookup on some cabinets, so why not? And that's what I'm gonna do. End up putting new cabinets in. I've been looking at Stone Cold countertop. I'm crafty, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna buy some new countertops and do it with those versus doing with the ones I got, because technically I could do it with those and seal up a lot of that stuff, because yeah, I might do it. It depends. And then I was thinking about putting a new sink in there. So I got new cabinets, new sink, and the floor, I'm thinking about doing the whole floor epoxy as well with the Stone Cold countertop series that they have. And just upgrade it. I've already put in hardwood on the floors. Finna actually paint the whole house. I'm thinking about getting rid of this popcorn ceiling out this mug. So when I update the kitchen, I updated the floors, then turn around, I'm gonna update the bathrooms. The main things that you get the most bang for your buck when a lot of people come in and renovate and buy these houses and remodel, the first thing they do is the floors, the kitchen, and the bathrooms. Because mainly the living room is one of the places you're gonna be at a lot if you tend to not have TVs in the rooms. But when it comes down to it, it's mainly gonna be your kitchen and your bathrooms. The floors, you walk on them every day, so they have to look, decent. And my wife just got tired of us, always shampooing the carpet. Like with kids, man, shampooing the carpet a lot. That's why I really don't want a dog. And my wife really don't want the dog. She want a small dog, if anything. But I told her we're gonna need more space, because dog, he's want to run and play, and if we get a little small dog, you gotta stay in the house, get a dog that can't shed that much. And so now we're in the process of already looking for another house, because I tell people a lot, like I told them, I used to do furniture, I used to move furniture, and from doing that, I've learned to move according to your kids. Shout out to Prince Pierre. He was, I think, the game show host. That's his full channel. Prince Pierre, the game show host. I think it's the game show host or the game show something. But basically, he was talking yesterday, and he was saying a lot of people mad about, their neighborhood and how their schools are not doing good for their kids. It goes off your taxes. A lot of us don't like paying taxes in our community because it's taking too much money out of our pocket. But then we're also not putting money into the schools for the kids. Like my wife, she was, kind of asking me, like, why these teachers want us to give them, certain things as far as, oh yeah, I got a meeting at 3:30 for my kids. Just remind them. But for the school, as far as for stuff for them to have, like there's the supplies, their Lysol stuff. I used to do that every year before COVID, and I think the last year I did it was when COVID came and the kids wasn't in school. Every year I always bought the teachers, I gave them $20 in cash, and I bought them hand sanitizer, three-pack Lysol, 2-pack of Lysol spray, tissue, and I gave them the tissue boxes and paper towels. So I would always have to go drop it off the first day of school. And since 19, I haven't done it yet, because 19 had everybody staying at home, and I think this year I was planning on doing it, but just kept pushing it off and stuff. Even like when now I'm supposed to give the kids some money to get to their teachers and stuff like that, because one of my sons, this guy has a obsession. Let's say schedule. Okay, that's a Verizon call. Yeah, my son has an obsession with blowing his nose one time and throwing the tissue away, getting another tissue, blow it one time and throw the tissue away. And I told him that stuff costs. He does it a lot at home. So when the teacher told me, I knew she wasn't lying. So, I wasn't typical one of them parents, oh no, don't talk about my child like this and that. Nah. I know my kids, you know. That's my whole reason for working the way I do, so I can be at home with my kids more. You know, and being home with my kids more, I pick up their habits. I know what they, can do and can't do, and I watch them like a hawk. So when they try to come at me with, something crazy, nah, you're not doing that, because I know you. I know your moves. Like one time, it was a situation, but basically, say the least. One of my friends, the kids is over their house, and I don't forgot how. I think was it that time we was. I think at the time I was staying with my friend because I was in the process of buying a house. That's what it was. And so that's all I remember was the situation that happened. So my friend was like, "Your son got up crying in the middle of the night." I was like, "Which one?" He was like, "It don't matter." I was like, "Yes, it does, because if you tell me which one, then I know which one you're lying." And so he said the other twin, which I know both of them don't get up in the middle of the night, and if one do get up, it would always be the first twin instead of the second. So when he said that one, I was like, nah, he don't get up. I said, as long as he use the bathroom before he go to bed, which we always done with our kids when they were younger, they do not get up. Now technically if they drink a lot, they known to get up and go to the bathroom as they're older now and come back. But because we used to wrap them and always, keep them tight and make sure we, do little things with them when they were babies, they really don't get up. Even now, like I said, the first twin, I really don't want to say their names and stuff, but yeah, Ethan, he basically does not get up at all. Once he lay in the bed, he's done. If he gotta get up to use the bathroom, that's it. But most of the time, he uses the bathroom before he go to bed. When he takes a shower, he use the bathroom. Pretty much once he eat or something like that, he might shoot in there and use the bathroom before he go to bed, and that's it. He done. He don't get up. I've never seen this boy. Only time this boy has getting up in the middle of the night is to sneak and get on his phone or play video games. But other than that, no. Getting off this humble subject. But yeah, but to the degree, God was just trying to make something up, because, I was staying with him. It got a little pressure and everything, which I went on to move down anyway, because he was kind of, on some other stuff. And when it came down to it, I was like, you ain't really got to lie about it. I mean, I understand his house, his rules, and that was my whole point. Cool, I don't have to be here. So I went and grabbed me an apartment real quick. I didn't want to get an apartment because, I was technically buying a house and, kind of working through him with this house situation. So I was like, well, I saved some money. Then in return, that put more, in your pocket. And it didn't work like that. And ultimately, I just went and got an apartment, stayed there for a year. Some situations happened, then went and got a house after that. But, like I say, the whole biggest thing is I was moving around for my kids. At the time, I needed to move back towards the city because the elementaries were a lot better for kids. The elementaries were a lot better for kids in the city. Now going to the outskirts, like I said, as far as paying your taxes, the money goes farther. Out here by my job, Buford, there's a high school out here that just got built. I would say about total about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. This high school was built pretty much about $150,000. It looks pretty much like a college. They bought, well, I'll say about a couple of blocks and just killed everything off, trees and all, little small business. Built this high school. The high school is like four stories and different departments. So you have one big side, then you have a section that's set aside, and of course you got your gym and all that stuff mixed into one. I'm quite sure they have a pool that I haven't looked at the whole, but it's more or less on the lines of tech. So it's a technical school, and with that being a technical school, computers and everything is big there, and they took actually the high school, Buford, and switched the middle school kids to that school. So now you have a middle school which goes 3 grades, has a high school, and now you get to have more kids go to this school. You have, bigger rooms, bigger classes, even though their schools, even if they have a lot of kids in there, just like we do in, the city where I'm at in Decatur, they have more teacher assistants than, other schools. Like, one of my classes was pretty big, so they got us a teacher assistant when I was in high school. And, I used to hit on the teacher assistant, bad little kid, messing around. But the teacher assistant, she was a person out of college and stuff like that. So when it came down to it, we just messing around, but she helped us because the class, I think it had about 30-something kids. And the other class, because I was in advanced English. And so even though I didn't like English, they put me in advanced English. And they put me in there with one of the teachers I did not like. But, like once going back to Humble, the thing of it was I did pretty good in that class. So that's why they pretty much more or less put me in that class, and actually did pretty good as far as me graduating too as well. But, technically I'm about to go ahead and jump off of here for the most part. But, just talking about being humble and, getting things together. Trying to not really, what they say, put the horse before the carriage when it comes to so much stuff. And I had to deal with these crazy people at my job. All right, let me jump off of here. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.